Okay, Saberinians, the final video, tips and tricks of the KESTIS, the KR KESTIS. So, a couple of these things I have probably run through before in other videos, but there's no harm in repeating myself, or at least I think so anyway. So let's go over the pommel that comes with your standard KESTIS. This is a different shaped pommel to the previous generations. This is more accurate and comes with the quick detach unit already built in. So let's put the blade plug, the pommel plug to the side for the moment and discuss spring pressures. There are 2 springs provided and inside your pommel as it stands. So what we'll do is we'll put a finger on the bush where all the balls sit inside and unscrew the back end of the pommel to reveal the 2 springs. Now, 2 springs, the outside spring represents 2/3 of the pressure, the inside spring represents the other third of the pressure. You do not, however, need both of those springs. Having both of those springs means obviously the most pressure, means you've got less chance of things just detaching by themselves mid-swing, but this is a quick detach system, so it isn't meant to be as solid as threading 2 items together, which is why we include the threaded adapter with the standard KESTIS, so you can replace this bush here that holds the balls with the threaded adapter if you really wanted to make sure that nothing flies apart on you. Right, so separated that. I'm going to put that down very carefully not to lose the balls in their positions. Here's the outer spring and here's the inner spring. As I said before, outer spring represents 2/3 of the pressure from the unit. This here represents the last third of the pressure of the unit. You can mess around with these to reduce the amount of pressure required for the quick detach system. If you just stay with the single spring in the center of it, however, and then thread that back all the way on. It's a nice long thread, keeping it nice and secure. What you've done is dramatically weakened the holding pressure that the quick detach unit requires, or has, I should say. Thread that back on. And then what happens here, you'll notice straight away this is a lot easier to actuate back and forth, and then you can literally push in the other side without having to lift the sleeve up, and then you can detach it without having to move the sleeve manually. But naturally this is a lot weaker, a lot more prone to coming off on its own. But that is pretty cool in itself, so you can tune the pressures you desire. I personally prefer having all of the pressure there. I don't mind pulling back the sleeve to release the shoto or the crossguard grip. Another note I haven't walked you through before is the balls inside this unit. So what I'm going to do now is this is very annoying. I'm going to put both springs back on because that's the way I like it, but I'm going to accidentally drop all the balls out. Some of them are, no, one of them stayed in. Put that unit back in there. What you do is thread it in by a few threads, not all the way, like so, and then you'll notice you've got 2 cutouts either side of the ball cage. Now without this threaded down all the way, this is prime opportunity to put the balls back in position. So rotate the sleeve, got 1 ball in that corner pocket, 1 ball in that corner pocket, drop it down until they both fit into the cage, rotate it to the next one, 1 in there, 1 in there, drop it down, got 1 in, there we go, got both of them in there, and then next set, 1 on that side, 1 on that side, there we go, and then finally the last singular ball, drop it on that side, drop it down, and there we go. And then you can continue threading up the whole pommel assembly. I've still got the cold, and then There we go, nice and solid, and then those balls aren't going to drop out on you at all. Nice and robust. Thread that back on. Make sure it is nice and tight, and then double check it. There we go. Just a bit of dust. How cool is that? So that's that done and walked through and checked. What I recommend for this pommel unit that comes as part of the Shoto is, once you find your desired position of how you want the loop to sit, which is pretty much bang on there for me, that's how I want it to sit, is then what you do is secure that screw in the center there that holds the bottom half on, in with a bit of thread lock, just the light stuff, just to stop it freely rotating around the screw there, and secure it entirely. There you go. Remember, I don't recommend using super glue. I recommend using the lightest form of thread lock. Therefore, a little bit of heat and it will undo all on its own. Right, that's that for those two. There we go. For the cross guard, and this was the same as the previous generations in terms of how I recommend doing this. You might find your screws unscrew a little bit on usage. What I recommend, but I did pick one that is in there nice and tight, is removing them one at a time. Do this through a process of one screw at a time. Grab a light grade of thread lock, and once you're happy with your install and you're not going to have to go back into it, you're happy with your weathering, do this. After all of that, just put the smallest amount of thread lock on. And then I've covered up the tips of my Leatherman here, my pliers. Just nip it up very gently. You don't want to neck the screw though. And you want it to be nice and tight. And I'm going to leave that to set now. So that's all you need to do for that as well. So there's a nice little tip for you. I'm going to move this out of the way now because I need a bit of space. So now, a question that keeps on being brought up is the new crossguard kit, the KR Sabers crossguard expansion pack, compatible with the previous gens of the old Survivor design? So let's walk through that, shall we? I haven't tried it yet. In terms of how the dimensions were and the tolerances, they should theoretically be the same. However, the old factory that made the first gen, the second gen of the Survivor struggled with tolerances and with threads for some reason. So I always recommend going with a brand new setup because it's going to be better. It's going to make sure it's compatible and there won't be any issues. And as you can see here, there is some visual differences between the grips now, as the new gen is more accurate to the game, and the skin that has been overlaid over the 3D model in the game. So I have here a KR crossguard expansion pack. Let's remove the lid, get rid of the foam. We're not worried about the install parts, we are just worried about the compatibility of the main parts here and their threading and their fitment of tolerance. So let's move that to the side as well. I've also attached the aftermarket quick detach unit for the old Survivor gens. So you have to, in order to fit the new pommel, or have a chance of fitting the new pommel, you have to have that. What we'll do is unwrap all of this. There we go. And unwrap the extension grip. Get rid of the tissue. Okay, one thing to note straight off the bat is that this will not thread into this now, because it is accurate in size, and naturally the threads change when it comes to accuracy there. There we go. And what we can do here is remove that section here and see if the new KR crossguard expansion pack extension pommel fits into the new system. It does. Looks really odd with the old style grip, but it does fit in there. What I will tell you now though is that because there are internal differences due to the accurate sizing of the new pommel, this all sits at a different distance here in the pommel to any form of chassis that is available in the market. So if you are going to do this, you're going to have to look for a bespoke chassis design to do the cross compatibility between the two. Again, I always recommend getting the latest version of the KR KESTIS and getting the latest crossguard expansion pack to suit it, to convert it into a crossguard setup. But that is compatible, and I will show you now that if anybody does want to ask this question, this will not fit in here as the diameters have changed due to accuracy changes. There we go. So that is that gone through the pommel section, the extension, all sorted. Now let's have a look at whether the bush is compatible in tolerance. Slide that off. It is compatible in tolerance and diameter. Just want to put a pinch in it for the moment. There we go. Might need to add another grub screw in there. The threads on the old Gen Survivor kits were never very good. The factory always struggled with threads for some reason. It's always really bizarre to me. There we go. So that is that. Now to check the threading of the emitter. So we'll grab the old Gen emitter. Put that to the side, put these down. Just about. And there we go. The old Gen emitter does thread into the latest KR version expansion, crossguard expansion for the KESTIS. So hopefully that clears up a few questions for you. Another thing I'm going to do in just a moment, I hadn't thought about this at all, so that's been answered. We can stick that to the side for now. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to come back with something else, hopefully. Right, I'm back. I've gone and grabbed my KR skull, and just a bit of fun, if you wanted to swap the grips and the pommels on these for a bit of customization, you certainly can. I do have certain threads that I really like to use, certain specs of threads that I really do love to use. And there we go, look at that. So there's just something a bit entertaining for you. We'll add in the extension there, super long Bangolin skull right there. I'm not sure if I made this the same thread size as well, so let's have a look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. And there we go. Something fun to play around with. It's a 32mm versus a 33. That's why it's a bit loosey-goosey. So don't do that little swap there. This. Pommels do not swap around. There we go. So something a little bit fun to end the video on. Alright, thank you very much for watching all of the videos that I've done for this KESTIS run. I know it's a lot. I hope you really enjoy the brand new KR KESTIS as much as I do. And the Shoto, the Fallen Order expansion pack, the Crossguard expansion pack, and adding 2 hilts together to make 1 gyro stuff, all of the extra little bits and bobs, all of the install stuff. It's all a lot of fun. I hope you really like it, and I look forward to doing our next video, which should be the Harbinger, hopefully. Alright, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.